All right. We are live. It is the starting soon screen show. So we call it the but we are ready to go. This is our version of starting soon. We just treat it more like a little baby pre-show, and then we do all the stuff that like people check, like, oh, our audio level's right, or the chat will flow in. The show doesn't officially start for 3 minutes. We could run the ads now, but we're not going to. What's up, Hex? How are you? We got our first jump of the night. That's what I like to see. It's not going to land, though. But I appreciate you jumping right in there. What's up, Rini? How are you? Big jump from Rini there. I love it.
Pucker up. It's time for the pain.
We'll do the pucker up here once the show's official. We'll do the drink now, though. Ooh, I just jumped. That makes me happy. That was something I was expecting to happen, and it worked. How wonderful. How beautiful. How was everybody's long weekend? Ooh, we got a fun show tonight. I'm excited for the show. I love seeing all those hug barrels in the chat. Like it's such a cheat. It always shows, there's Yak. What's going on? It always shows, like what's the most used emotes. Like you can look and see for a certain show, and it's always one of the colors of hugs. It's one of them. And like it's usually green, I think, is the one that's always the most, always the most used. That's a splash. Yeah, I think people like to use that green. And so that's what happens. But we got a fun show. It's been a while since I've done it, but I needed to write notes. Look at that. Tier 1. Oh, you know what? I'm going to write right on the list. Check months. Not always new. But 50 months. Oh, by the way, let's start the show. Well, that didn't work. That's not the first time. Breaking news, huh? How about that? That's pretty, what's going on there? There's no reason for that to be happening. Oh, hold on. I think I know. Yeah, hold on. We need to close Streamer.bot and reopen it. I think that's the problem. Let's do that. It doesn't like to be, by the way, thank you for that. It doesn't like to always be left open. Like sometimes it gets grumpy and then doesn't do the things it's supposed to do because it was left open. All right, that should be better. This now should work.
It's the Z Word Show. It's the what? The what? It's the Z Word Show. The Z Word Show. It's the what? The what? It's the Z Word Show. Stabbing little hug barrels with a rusty Allen wrench. Teriyaki swimming sideways, nothing here makes sense. Things are always breaking, whole stream glitching again. Camera freezing, chat teasing, maybe reboot it. My friend, spin the wheel for some tokens, maybe gift cards tonight. Socks or pens or mega sours, all prizes in sight. Don a snazzy pink suit, full shimmer on display. We're just one sub away, they're yelling it all day. Jump, but never hit the bullseye. We celebrate anyway. It's the Z Word Show. It's the what? The what? It's the Z Word Show. It's the Z Word Show. It's the what? The what? It's the Z Word Show. Computers melting, fans whining, stream barely holds the line. Chat rattles the rafters, offbeat laughter. We still call it fine. We watch the newest trailers, hype rising for what's soon to drop. Talk theories, wild guesses, ideas bouncing non-stop. It's pop, not soda. Soda is an ingredient. Say soda again and your band is expedient. I'm sorry, IPA can eat my whole ass. That bitter blast ain't sweet. Hug barrels hitting heavy, bladder screaming, set me free. You're good with donations, trust me, I got receipts. Name rolling down the ticker like a VIP elite. I stab another hug, sit back, watch the spin start again. Lights glitch, hopes twitch, gift card daydream settling in. Game, we chat through this hug-fueled mess. We wade, laughing, tapping, drifting through the Z-Word arcade. It's the Z-Word Show. It's the what? The what? It's the Z-Word Show. It's the Z-Word Show. It's the what? The what? It's the Z-Word Show.
There we go. We are live. It is the Z Word Show. It is Wednesday, May 27th, 2026. And we got a fun one for tonight. We got a fun one. It is where we're going to just kind of yeah, those are tough to change on there unless I don't know if it's gotten any better, but yeah, usually you just kind of got to roll the dice or try to like figure out how to, yeah, or like you said, or put it in and like edit it manually. But yeah, that's the thing. So like some of these things, once they're locked in, you kind of got to roll with it. But today is going to be a show where we kind of look at and inventory some of the stuff we've been doing with Meld Spark over the last month, and then open the floodgates to you guys to come up with some things for me to prompt it with and see what we can craft together. I have a scene that's mostly a blank slate, and we will have some fun with that in a little bit. First, though, thanks to Rini, we have to do the sour candy. We got Barnett's Mega Sours here right off the rip. Rini comes in, jumps, hits pucker up, and then probably like throws like a metaphorical thing of smoke on the ground and disappears like Batman. Hits us with the ninja vanish. But we got the watermelon one. Let's just get this out of the way because we got stuff to do. Like I said, it's a list of stuff. It's never fun. It's never fun. I hate it. This one wasn't as bad as they normally can be. There we go. Still wild. But so like I was saying, so we're going to be having some fun kind of looking back at, now that we've got our hands on Meld Spark for a little over 30 days. I think I just got charged my second billing cycle like last week. Just kind of taking a look at what we've built and looking kind of out towards the future of what more things we can build. And one of the things that you may notice from time to time on the bottom of the screen. And this was, the funny thing is this is apropos of what I was going to do tonight. Like this show was what I wanted to do regardless of this, even though looking at it, it might not seem like it. But I found out a couple days ago that I was officially invited into the Meld Creators Program, which a part of that is, for the first time in the history of the Z Word, we have an official like code that we can offer. And one of the things, if you're watching this and you see something cool with Meld and you're like, ooh, I want to try that, I do have an offer for you for 50% off your first month of Meld at meldstudio.co/spark, and then you can use the code ZWord to get 50% off your first month. And we'll see. And I think, and to me, honestly, the bigger thing with that is I'm more interested in being invited kind of into an inner circle of creators and seeing what they're doing with these tools more than that part. It's still cool, but nevertheless, it is a thing. And I'm telling you, like I said, I was going to be doing this show tonight, regardless of that. It just kind of timed out that way. What's up, Crazy, by the way? But you'll notice that on the bottom chat, I built in, I added an enhancement to where I edit the messages, that now I can attach a specific message to a Streamer.bot action. So like now when the little thing on the bottom says tells you how to do jumping for tokens, I automatically just jump. I don't even have to touch anything. It just jumps. And then when the little thing pops up to talk about the Meld Spark discount code, ZWord, it will also put it right into there. Look at that. There it went. It just fired it off. Get 50% off your first month of Meld Spark. meldstudio.co/spark, code ZWord. And it just puts it in the chat too. And that was a little something that I did. So now I can create actions in Streamer.bot. And then when I create a message to go on that bottom, if I so choose, I can have a Streamer.bot action be associated with that message just popping up. So every once in a while, I'll have my hands like this and I'll just jump. So like I just get free jumps just because. Hey, Crypt Keeper. So yeah, we're going to just kind of be, no, it's not that wild. It's associated with the bottom chat thing. I don't know. I need to look into potentially doing voice stuff, but it's going to be a little bit out. Look at that. Tomorrow is our next giveaway. $25 Amazon gift card, one lucky Twitch follower. Make sure you're a Twitch follower by the end of the night and you have tokens. Plenty of ways to get tokens. All right, I don't even know where to get started with this. But like I said, tonight is kind of an episode about kind of looking back at what we've created and then opening up time for you guys to then just hand me ideas that we can turn into prompts and see what we can create together. Hacks gets the free spin. So I think we might as well just go over just some of the stuff that we've created. And for anybody who might be tuning in, who's unaware of what this is, the people who watch this show have seen some of the stuff and we've talked through some of the stuff that we've been able to do. But if you're unaware, Meld Spark is a tool that you can use to help you code things like games, overlays. People use it we use it already for lots of different things. And it's neat because it works not just with Meld, but it also can work with OBS Studio. So if you're not ready to make like the full switch over, you can still use the power of like this kind of coding workhorse or whatever you want to call it. And because it spits out things that are browser sources. And so browser sources tend to work wherever browser sources work. So, you know, like some of the things I assume, like if your Spark or your widget is dependent on something that only Meld can do, then you might not be able to use it in OBS. But if it's just like an alert, you can use it there and it will work just fine. So we're going to just kind of like look at some of the stuff we've built so far. Then we're going to look at, like I said, get you guys involved. And so there's just looking at the screen we have here, just our home page, our main show page right here. There's already like tons of stuff that we've built with this already built in. Like I said, that chat down below, that horizontal chat, that with those little messages that I can edit, that now we found out it can also just be attached to Streamer.bot actions. That was all done through Meld, and which is really cool. It automates a lot of cool stuff. Our updated chat highlighter that just looks much more beautiful than the crappy one that Meld put out in the first place. We were able to do that with Spark. Wouldn't be surprised if they added that soon. That's in there. The slot machine, which no one is shot off yet, is there. If for people who want to use the slot machine, it's there. The jumping game, we were able to like recreate that in a more elegant and beautiful way. That in addition to being beautiful, look at all this stuff. It's just flowing. Tokens, and then that token delivery right into your account without me having to touch a thing. It's beautiful. And then of course we also on this page have the jumping for stats leaderboard, so we can see all that. And it's so awesome that it keeps track of. Look at that! I wasn't touching it. I didn't touch anything. It just worked. Splash! I missed. I know you could have seen that update in real time, but. You know, like average, the amount of jumps, crazy. Yuck, you've almost eclipsed crazy for the most jumps. And then of course we have the grand totals so that we can see as a community. Because I was thinking about the stuff that gets made, what I use Spark for. And I'm not a big like worrying about overlays and things like that, because I feel like I don't need Meld's help to do that. I think a lot of people need it a lot less than they think they do, and it's not exactly the best use of this tech, but that's my opinion. But so like I was thinking about like what I think about when I'm trying to think of new things to add, and I realize this is gonna have like that almost like a funky corporate like zoom in on my face, there we go, sound to it. But the three things I think of, because I was thinking about this, and the three things I think of when I try to come up with something for the show is I want it for the most part to be interactive. I want it to be things that you guys have a part in, or makes the show in general more interactive. Like the chat highlight makes you potentially more thinking, I'll put a chat in there because he might highlight it. So like there's an interactivity to it. With Meld Spark, the one thing that's really nice is things can be multi-platform. Before, I was stuck with a lot of things being only for people on Twitch, and I didn't like that. But now, like things like jumping or a race game, there's still some things that are sort of locked in to certain things, but that's just because of things beyond my like capacity to think about it. But there's more and more multi-platform stuff, like the chat, like the alerts, like the racing game, like the jumping, are all things that anybody who's watching on YouTube, Kick, TikTok, Twitch can all use. And then a thing that I'm a big fan of almost as much as Wheels is I love the concept of creating a lore and a history around the things we do. That's why I love the Jumping for Tokens leaderboard, because like it creates like a history and a shared like sense of community that's really cool when you can look and go, I've jumped this many times, or I've gotten this many bullseyes. I love that. So like when we do things, like those are the things I try to think of. I want them to be aesthetically beautiful, but I don't plan on good jump. I don't plan on using Meld for specifically aesthetics or to like make the stream look better. Like things look good, but not necessarily because I need like a full like overlay created or anything like that. So, okay, we looked at that. Like I said, the chat's got that cool upgrade. So when the messages come up, I can now attach those to actions, which is fantastic. Jumping is in a great place. And however it came out, the bullseye seems like more of an achievable thing. We've actually already had one of those. I'm looking at all the different things. Chat highlights. Of course, we have had all the different trivia games. We had WrestleMania trivia, retro trivia, which were really cool. Little things that you guys can play. Oh, let's go check out. Oh, I want to show you this. Let's go look at the racing scene. This is fun. All right. We got new cars. The color stuff still works. We also have this. You know what? We're gonna do one race. And each car was actually colored. Cyan is dead, but every car has like if it's a color and you search it, there was a car built for that color. It's not just doing a like a palette swap. So like the purple car was built purple and added. Oh, I'm gone. Like that white car is white. I think there's 11 different colors. There's orange, brown, gray, black, white, green, yellow, pink, and Yuck wins. And official tokens. But now, look at this, what I've also added. I need this to come up. I need the leaderboard to come back up. Check this out. We also got a new stage. See, there's a stage button. We got the beach. We can go to the beach. There's a beach level now. There's a beach level with new cars. And so we can have ideas for what's up, Nog? For brand new potential levels. Right now there's just the beach and the grasslands. But we do now officially have two biomes to race on. Look, they even got their own little fun graphics. Palm trees and lifeguard stands. Oh, Crazy took the lead. Hex. And I tried to up the logic on the but there you go. Crazy wins and Crazy gets the tokens. So and what's fun is it's literally just a click of a button. And you can change the stage. But see, this is what I'm talking about. It's interactive. It's multi-platform. You can race on any platform you're watching me on right now. And it's historical because we have a leaderboard that keeps track of everything. I don't know. It seems to do bad with that. And so I feel like you could probably do that, but it would do its own custom graphic for the car, which would suck ass. I guess that's the way I would put it. And I don't trust it to create. And so, because I didn't even like what it was doing. I didn't like what it was doing with the other one. So that's why I went in and created my own, like, added new pictures so that every car had its own color the way I liked it. But there might be. But yeah, this page is full of interactivity. Oh! But yeah, so the racing has been improved. That was one of those things I was talking about that I had made an update. We got a new follower. What's up, Jack? Jack Sexit Guy over on the Kick Machine just followed. That's fantastic. But we're in. But so you never know. Those are things that we can look into. But I figured for now, the better like fix to it, making like having an ugly car that they kind of like, and they would just bend the color on the default car. And I was like, oh, that's poopy. So I was like, you know what? We're just going to make 11 cars that will cover the bulk of the colors that people want. And then maybe we can look into doing something fancier later. But we updated that. Then we got, I'm going to skip over here to the game screen, and we're going to bring up the, where's my analytics board? Where's it at? Oh, this is the way we'll do it. We'll bring up the analytics engine. I wanted to show you a couple upgrades I made to that. So a couple hey, I thought those new cars looked pretty fancy compared to the old cars. You got to give me that. You're demanding super fancy. That's what you're demanding. Like Yuck says, I demand fancy. You're demanding super fancy. And this right here, the analytics chart, yes, it pulls it right from the spreadsheet. It updates I think it updates when you open it, and then it updates every 10 minutes. But a couple of the things I added to this to make it even better for like, especially for people on phones, is I added the ability to double click on a card, and then you get this big, beautiful card that's very easy to read. Yuck, dumb, boop, bums. You see these top 5 players, and you can do that with every card. I'm not going to give away the stat of the week. You got to tune in tomorrow for the updated stat of the week, but there will be an updated stat of the week. I'm not going to give that away. But yeah, every one of these you can double click on the forgotten classics. You can look and see what we've forgotten. I could have saved these updates for tomorrow, but since we're talking about the Meld stuff, I figured I'd get it out. I also added the ability that if I see like I can click on a name on any of the cards, and it will automatically fill that into the player lookup. So I don't even have to type that in. Like we can go over here and click on Bloom's name, and boom, it just fills that up over there, and you can see fit their stuff. And of course you can then embiggen that card as well to see all their stuff. So I wanted to do that. And then a couple other upgrades we made. So like when you click on a name on here, it switches you back to that screen, which is fine. But the other thing is when you click on a game, it then fills the card in. And the cards, I went through and found art so that every game, when you type it into here, will also have, so you wanted fancy, will fill in the back of the card for the game with the game's art. So you can look up like trivia, murder party. There's murder party 2. And then it adds those in. And so it has it for all the games, even ones that we don't even play anymore. I went and made sure I got them. So even like Death by AI, even though I don't know why it's not working, it should. But words on stream, I might not have fixed that one. Oh, because I think there's some. Well, I mean, you can still access the sheet, the analytics chart. That's not going away, and that'll always be full. But yes, there are some things that are on that are missing from this one. But yeah, like words on stream there, or what the dub. Look at that art. It's beautiful art on the cards, so you can see the game. Quiplash 3, boom. Espionage, boom. Dictionarium, boom. I did. And I asked Meld, I said, what's the proper dimension so that everything looks right on the card? And it told me that. And then I believe it's Jackopedia is the website. And none of these arts had any like person to attribute to. So I was just like, but I'll tell you, that's where I got them from. And then I like kind of made sure they all fit in the right spot so they look good. And I picked the best ones I could. Like some of the art's not great, but then see like Fibbage 4 or Dominate. And I love that. And the Jackbox Survey Scramble games all use the same picture. But yeah, Riff Tracks the game. And then I just added them all in and said, hey, when somebody looks that up, fill in that card with the art that goes with the game. And there's a couple of them that are, I think the only one that's probably still not working right is Death by AI. And I know how to fix that because I do have art for that too. But my guess is because the picture calls it Death by A.I. Well, yeah. So like all-time champ in the sense who has the most wins. So yeah. So Copland's got the most wins on Quiplash 3. And then I can click his name here, and then we can come over here and see his player lookup card. And then I did this for you, Hex. I made all the cards embiggenable so that you can, so like if I click your name, because you're number 5 all-time leader, and then boom, there's the big Hex card embiggen. So there's the big Hex card. So we talked about this one. And this, and this, and this, and this, and that, and this, and that. So, yeah. So like, these were some fun little, thingamabobs. No, that's part of it is because I actually did have some concerns about when this laid out. And so I was actually happy when you, kind of like echoed my concern for not being able to see it very well. And then I realized, why not just do this? And then I'll fix the problem. And then I also technically have an art on or art off button. So like on this screen, the art is off, or I can turn it on. The only reason why I had that button is because my original solution to this was pulling the pictures automatically, was pulling from a source that didn't always pull a great picture. So like I wanted to have the ability to turn it on or off. But honestly, now that I've custom put the pictures in, there's no need. But yeah, so the analytics engine is looking great. And then the last thing I wanted to show you guys before I kind of like turned it over to you guys to come up with stuff was I want to preface this by saying I reached out to him before we started doing the show to say I was working on this and to make sure that they didn't hate my guts and that they knew how grateful I was for the wheel they created for this show, because without it, I may have stopped doing the wheel altogether. So again, I can't thank you enough, Yuck, for that wheel that you crafted and put together, because it was literally a stream lifesaver. Like, that functionality would not exist here on this show if it wasn't for that. But we have been working on an alternative wheel widget, and we're going to bring that up right now. Hex was 10 12. So here is the melded Spark version of the wheel. And of course, if you're liking all this stuff you're seeing, you can get 50% off your first month of Meld Spark by going to that link right there and using the code ZWORD. And it will you get 50% off, and you can get in here and play around to your heart's content for a month. I'll tell you right now, if you're diligent about it, I'm going into the sales pitch a little bit right now, but if you know what you want to do and you're diligent about it, you can get a lot of stuff done in that first month, because all this stuff we talked about, other than maybe the wheel, was all pretty much done within that first month of having Meld Spark. All those things that we added, all those quality of life improvements were done in just 1 month. And I had already bought in and paid for the for it. And you get to keep them when you're done. So then if you stop paying for Spark, it's not like you lose your stuff. So, but here's the new wheel. You guys like to, some of the sound effects and things are still temporary. We're working on that, and fingers crossed that it actually works. So let me make sure I get to, where's my, oh, it's up at the top. Spin wheel, because I got to click into it. So some of the things that off the front that I've added is that there's things in here that are clickable and doable. So like if I need to switch the wheel, I can double click on the center. It brings up a nice little doodad. I can then pick the different wheels right here. The wheel that first spins, or the double AF wheel, is here. We're going to spin this in a second for Hex. The hope is that this search spinners bar will bring up people that are actively live and watching on Twitch. Doesn't look like it's working. It looks like that broke, which that's fine. We'll just have to tell it to turn it back on. But I am going to, well, so for this, oh, here we go. There, it just took it a minute to figure out what's going on. But then there's Hex, who's watching on Twitch. So we can click and put their name there. And then we spin. This is for the extra spin. Clothes does not equal clothing. It's a good question. That is from that night we played Family Feud on the Nintendo Entertainment System. And we put in clothes for one of the answers, and we got an X. And then it ended up being that they were looking for clothing. It was a disaster. But then now we can spin. This is the wheel of spins. It automatically shuffles. That's a yuck improvement. Lands on one spin. So one spin is what Hex is going to get. And then we can click on that to make it go away. Double click, go over to the wheel of tokens, And Hex wants 11 spins because they bought 10 and got the free one. And so then I can say I want 10 spins. And let's see what happens. We're shuffled and we're spinning. So let's let it work. The prize distribution is exactly the same on the last wheel. I don't know if I want to tell you. But it combined time somewhere between an hour and an hour and a half. Oh, it was so close. So close. Get there.
Wheel of gift cards.
We got a wheel of gift cards situation. That's exciting. Well, I'll admit one of the things that I like about Meld Spark and building these things in Meld itself is because I don't have to have anything else open. It's all I assume you could make it build something that would like really shit on your GPU. But I like the fact that everything's all like built in, like it's built right into the bread. It's right in the recipe of Meld. So I don't have to have another browser open. I can do it all like right here. Watch this. Well, I'll make sure you get another one. I'll make sure you get one more. But there you go. It also, because your name was in the search bar, it also just automatically added the points to you. But no, we owe you one more. You're right. And we'll get you, and then we'll spin it one more time for Hex. And I was like, oh, I forgot how much you won on the last one. I need to add it. No, I don't. It just did it. It's in there. So there you go. All right. So we got to bring up the wheel of gift cards for Hex. Let's see where it lands. No, not quite, because there's too many. There's still things that like you'd have to keep track of, like other things. But like technically, if you got rid of the prizes with words, you could. But I don't want to get rid of the prizes with words. So there's another 15,000. And yeah, it does that for me. So then I make sure I double click. We'll go back to the wheel of tokens. Crazy's up next with 10. So we go into my search bar, and I look up Crazy, and then just adds him right to the search bar because he's watching, he's viewing, and it's right there in the search bar. And then we can go up to 10. We got 10 spins. And now we're going to sit back and let it happen. Look at all these things flying around the screen. Oh! 27,000 tokens. Crypt Keeper, or whoever just pulled that one. That was big. Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Let me check something. Nobody do the slots for a second. Okay, somebody, whoever got that 27,000, I'm sorry. You officially jumped over remember, it's always, you gotta always be careful about when you request the spin.
Wheel of gift
God damn
cards.
I had to look into that. But with the slot machine, you got to be careful when you go, because if you do it too early or too strange, it can potentially. So you do want to be careful with your timing around this. Get out of my life!
Wheel of gift cards.
What's with this wheel of gift cards crap going on? Yeah, and that's one other thing that's kind of neat about Meld is once you have like things that look a certain way, then you kind of have a baseline to say, all right, we'll make things fit in with. And I find that it, like for the most part, sometimes will almost default to like trying to make it look like other stuff that it's built for you if you don't tell it to do it different. And one more spin for crazy. And remember though, this is we're beta testing this thing for the first time tonight. So hopefully it does all the right things. $55,000, which have already been added to crazy, so I don't have to touch that, but we do have to spin the wheel of gift cards 2 times. I don't like that. I mean, I like it. Finance doesn't like it. 2 times. Wheel of gift cards. I'm writing my little note here. Spin it twice. Let's see what happens. I did not. Only because since the picking of the wheels is more like out in front of me, I figured I'd try to not do it at first. Another 50,000. Thanks for spinning. That's true. Those are things that I potentially need to add if we run into an issue. All right, up next, Yuck wants 10 spins. Let's see if we can find a Yuck. Yuck, who I don't even know if you've noticed, but like I've been every time I test the wheel to make sure it pays somebody, I've made sure that I put your name in the search bar, so you got a bunch of free tokens over the weekend.
It's motherfucking May tonight. Yeah.
10 spins. Yeah, no, it added it. It happens so fast now that you don't even notice it. Oh, wait a minute. It did the chat thing. Wait a minute. You might be right. But it did what it was supposed to do. That might be a Streamlabs issue. Ooh. Let me add those for you. I see what it did. That's because it's being too efficient with everything, that there were 2 add point commands that came in like right at the same time with slots and the wheel. And I think, so that might be something we need to monitor a little bit. Need to monitor that a little bit. But that was one of those things that we would only ever notice in real time. Oh, see, this is what I'm... Oh, no, Yuck's the one spinning right now. I was worried it was wasn't supposed to be crazy. Now, the slot machine is timed out in a way... Look at that. We don't even need an emergency stop. We can just change the wheel in real time. Look, we just found that out. Instead of emergency stopping, I just switched to the right wheel. But the slots is set up in a way so that the timing on the slots shouldn't be a problem with the add point command, like overlapping. It's just when the wheel and slots are going at the same time that there might be an issue. And that might be just something that I have to keep like a mental note of to make sure that somebody gets their tokens, because it's going to put the command in, but Streamlabs might not be able to keep up with it. Like, it's doing exactly what it's supposed to be doing. No, the only thing is there's not a shuffle when you switch the wheels in real time. So see, we've learned that the stop is valuable. Add the stop. I'm trying to think where I can sneakily add the stop button in here. It's as needed. So Yuck, I'm gonna let these 10 spin, and then I'm gonna give you 10 more because I want you to have a fair shuffle and not this booty shuffle. So we're gonna give you another 10 after this. Feel bad. It's like we got off the right after I talked all that shit about how, well, no, having the button right there will remind me to always to switch wheels when I'm supposed to. See, boom. It did what it was supposed to do. You just got 122,500 tokens. That was because you hit that 100,000 on the wheel of gift cards when you weren't supposed to spin it. But we're going to give you another 10 so that it shuffles correctly. And then we're going to let it rip again. So I feel bad. I feel bad. Oh my! Oh, I'm pretty sure I was going to get another bullseye and Hex ruined it. Look at that. All the DDs are coming back. I don't know if I was actually going to get a one or not, but you never know. But when we get done with these spins here, we're going to head over to our blank slate, where you guys will then be able to be like, Zach, try this, type in this, see if this will work. And we'll see what we got. I got about 73% of my weekly Spark token credits left. See, we added that money falling down. That makes me feel like shit. See, now this is where we got to kind of monitor what's going on with lots of slot machines. And wheel spins happening all at the same time. All the DDs are coming back, so that's why all these slots are being played right now. But look at that, 3 Meld Spark created games all on the screen at the same time. What we're talking about. There, you got your 86,000. And there we go. That will add those points to Crypt Keeper. Or no, that was Hex, right? Hold on. Ooh. Yuck. Hex, yeah, it was Hex. You won 3,000 on the slots and it didn't automatically add it to you. Now, I was talking about the slots because we've learned that while Meld can keep up with everything you're doing, Streamlabs can't necessarily keep up with what you're doing. And honestly, that's just more of a thing. I gotta figure it out, but it's pushing me towards the idea of having Meld keep an overarching token balance for people. There's some hurdles to that I don't like. But hopefully we can overcome them. The main thing is I would need a good way for you to be able to tell how many tokens you have at any given time. And there's not a real clean way to do that based on what Meld can and can't do. So yeah, Streamlabs is the potential culprit there. I'm writing another note. Maybe new points. Maybe new tokens that could potentially then, we can make that dream of multi-platform tokenage a reality. So, all right. The only thing is I did want to, we're going to go cameraless here for a second because there were a couple other things I wanted to go through that we were able to do that I wanted to show you. And one of them is we're going to lose the camera here for a second, but it's the scene that houses the chat on the bottom. I know there's no picture here and there's not going to be, but one of the cool things I was able to do, the way I control, where it says clothes equal clothing, one of the ways I control that is there's on this scene, even though I set the transparency to 0, I hate that it called it this, but it works. So I can go in here and tell it to rename some of these things. But what this is this is where I can set the different messages that show up at the bottom of the screen, and it plays a random one every minute. And so I can set new ones. I can purge. Why don't we just have a trash can? But I can modify it. And from there, I can modify what it says. I can add a Streamer.bot action that fires off when that message hits the bottom of the screen, which is cool. I also don't like the word abort here. But it just, like I said, it made up a bunch of stupid words. But you can technically, jumping for tokens, you can see that there's an action jump and then the message. And the same thing for our Meld Spark, 50% off your first month, meldstudio.co/Spark, use code ZWord, also has Meld deal action that then puts that in the chat. And so I can do that. And then when I'm done making edits, I go back over to the inspector and I just make it unseeable. And then boom, it's done. It's gone. and then you guys never see it. You know, that's behind the curtain stuff. Same thing with the wheel. Like here's where the wheel lives, but also on this scene is a wheel. They also don't like the name for this, but the wheel engine 2.1, where I can add wheels, add the entries, add the colors, add the names, and then those will show up on the list of wheels that are selectable. And then when I'm done with that here, I just hide it, and then boom, and then you're done. And then I have my edited wheels for the next show. Ooh, that's not good. Why didn't that show up? Well, you splashed in the water and it would have counted it anyway, but you know, like that's all fun. It's never perfect, but all right. So that was it. I feel like we've done a lot of stuff with Meld, and now it's your turn to do some stuff with Meld. And we got a scene here called Audience Sparks. A couple of things to keep in mind is there's a note up there that says only jumping works on this scene because I want you guys to jump constantly. So that's here, but we got a blank slate behind us. The chat's there, of course, because we want the chat on screen. And whatever ideas you guys come up with, I'll tell Meld to create it as a new layer on the scene. So I am open. We are open to any suggestions. Is there something you want to see Meld try to do? Just let me know and we'll Oh, okay. So hold on. I'm going to go back to these because I wanted to show Yuck the wheel thing. Hold on. With the wheel here is, in addition to the wheel scene, there's a whole other layer above it that's invisible right now that, this is where I do everything right in Meld. And so then I can set everything up. And then when I'm done, everything is saved. I clear that out and boom, then the wheel's good. The other one was that I was showing people was, the chat prompt. I don't like this is the scene where the bottom chat lives, but I also have that's like hidden is the place where I can then enter the different messages that I want to go on the bottom of on the chat, and I can add. And so like for like jumping for tokens, you can click modify and then you can fix what it says. And then you can pick a Streamer.bot action. So that goes with the message when that pops up. And so that, because I have that jump action attached to it, every time that message about jumping happens, it automatically sends a jump command to the chat. So I just jump. And then when I'm done editing messages for the show, I just turn the opacity down and boom, you're done. And then it works. All right. It cannot order a pizza. A battle royale for tokens. I actually have that I want to work on separately. Like, what exactly would that battle royale look like? Because we could, it kind of depends on how you want it to work. Is it something that like where the race, where like people, because you can make a really basic one where a lot of people enter like a cube, and then well, the funny thing is it can't order a pizza. Nog wants a coin pusher. Where you win tokens based on what you score. DD's different values for different of coins used. So sort of like the slot machine. So let's look at, you know what? I'm just going to the funny thing is with a lot of these, you can start from really kind of basic stuff. So like I'm going to put in, the one thing that's a little unfortunate is you can't see like my full screen and what I'm doing, but in the Spark box, I'm going to just put that battle royale for tokens. So we're going to copy V that, and I'm going to zhuzh it up a little bit. Can you create a battle royale for tokens that viewers can enter using the command !fight. Users will have 30 seconds to enter after the first entrant enters the ring. Winner, and then I'll leave it at that. I'm going to leave it at that. And see what it makes in a new layer. And we'll keep it that simple, and we'll see what it creates based on Crazy's idea for a battle royale. We're just we've entered in Crazy's idea. I added a little bit of I zhuzhed it up just a smidge, because like one of the selling points they have for this is, and it's working on it right now, and we'll see what it concocts. All right, don't do anything yet because it's still working. It's still working. I'll tell you when it's actually done working. All right. And so now it's done working. So go ahead and try and type in fight into the chat and see what happens. And we'll see what happens after this countdown is over. It looks like it's almost kind of like a random lotto game. And then technically I could set that, like those tokens won't actually go to you because that takes a little bit more like detail, but now that's there. Well, and remember, we didn't give it a lot of stuff to go on. Like then at that point, then you can be like, we'll do this or do that. We just said battle royale, 30 seconds. Then it starts, somebody wins. This isn't like, the funny thing is this isn't the worst. I'm not overly mad at this because this is something that could live right over like the game screen. And then you guys could, like, we could finesse that into something that looks a little cooler, but works sort of the same. And then just one random fighter wins. No, with Spark, you have a thing where you can technically, like, just like you can undo a move or something that you do to a layer or something. Like I can undo the most recent thing that Spark did just with a quick undo, and it will undo it. If it really borks something or screws it up, and I've had that, I will say, I've had Meld like do some nuclear weird shit to the stream, And then there is a way to revert to a prior session, like since the last time you opened Spark. And so that way you would lose everything you've done since that you did during that session, but it would at least take you back to something you knew was stable. And so, but there's not really a way to say, like, if it makes a change to something, there's not really a way to then just tell Spark, like, undo what you just did. It'll still kind of do that AI thing where it kind of wants to reinterpret what you've done. And so I'm actually going to leave that battle royale thing in here because I feel like that's something I feel like that's something that can be tweaked into something that can, because especially if it keeps things the size of like emotes, I feel like that could be something that just lives over the top of every screen. And anytime anybody gets grumpy, they can do a battle royale. And then of course, it's the perfect kind of thing where we can keep track of total wins eventually. I like that too. So I like the fact that it's potentially interactive. It would definitely be multi-platform, and it would easily be able to have a history. And I love that. Because you guys have stuck with me for so long, it's neat to be able to look at things we've done as a community over time. That's why I was so stoked that that analytics engine worked as well as it did, because it puts all that cool info right there and shareable with everybody. So yeah, so we got the start of a battle royale game, Crazy. You made it happen. All right, so Nog said a coin pusher. Yeah, and you guys can just keep fighting while we if you want. Oh, I'm chatting into the wrong thing. I got to chat into Spark. New layer. We'll start with the kind of a basic. And see, I would probably add things to that battle royale where like you could potentially like one time type in something like shield, or like say that there's like a 25% chance that an attack doesn't work, so that it doesn't just end immediately. Like we can add those types of things. New layer, create a coin pusher game that users can enter with the command. I'm just going to do push, which will drop, we'll say for now, 2 coins into the pusher machine. For every coin that falls off the pusher, the user gets 5,000 tokens. Only one player can play at a time. All right. So we'll see what happens. We're gonna try to create a a basic coin pusher. Hex, I think you're already on the target. So it's making something. But as you can see, like sometimes, like the fact that we have so many things that look snazzy or fit the motif of the show, like that does take some like finesse I don't even know how well this works. The coins seem like it would take forever for them to fall. And like, I can't tell if they're actually interacting. I can't tell if, hold on, I'm gonna, you know what? We're gonna mess with this one just a little bit. The coin pusher. I'm gonna center this one. I'm gonna center it and make it a little bigger. Oh, it actually won't make it bigger. That's the thing. Yeah, like, all right. So let me add some things. Like we'll go up the coin density so that there is a better chance of winning. I'm adding real basic stuff. You can get like super duper like into the weeds. Like actually knowing how to code can kind of sort of like help this. Like every once in a while I run into problems where my just basic understanding of talking doesn't work. So I like might seek out something like Chat GPT and say, help me ask Meld to do what I'm doing. A push, add to the push command left, add to the push command. Oh, how? These commands. We're going to add. Right now, what I'm trying to do is I'm going to add to the, we're adding to the push table, push left. We'll drop coins on left. We're going to add push right. We'll drop coins on right. I've added use the coin up the coin density so there's a better chance of winning on a push. Also, any coins added should be the user's avatar picture. And so we're going to try to up the coin density. We're going to add push left and push right. And we're going to hopefully, and then this adding some test stuff. I feel like the coins don't actually push each other. That's the problem we're running into. So like, oops. I did that the wrong way. Push left. Yeah. The problem that we're running into is that the coins are all just kind of stacking in one spot and they don't push each other. Like you would almost have to like set this up. Make it, I'm saying make it so that the coins cannot sit on top of each other. And yeah. And yeah, I don't know how good it does with 3D stuff. And push on top of each other and instead push the coins down. Also shorten the board a little bit so the coins start closer together. All right, so after this update, we'll move on to next. We'll move on to the next thing. Let me check and make sure. Oh, we're barely even touching the usage, which is good. And so this is just like our little fun playground. I need a... See, they're doing all kinds of weird stuff. Yeah, like the coins are like, they're not quite, like it's weird. Like they're, all right. Well, I want to add one more thing to this. Okay. Coin graphics should never overlap and only push the coins down. This is where it's a thing where I'm not asking it well, and I would probably go to ChatGPT and be like, how do you ask it to do what I'm asking to do? Also, each push command should drop. We're gonna go hard in the paint. 15, no 10 coins. All right, what's the Yuck? You said you had an idea. What would be your next idea? What would be the next thing to try? Also, if you can think of specifically how you would want the prompt asked, put that in the chat and I'll just copy and paste it right in. And we'll just see what it spits out. All right, it looks a little corny, but it looks like it's closer to what we were asking it to do. Oops. I didn't mean to do that. What? Massive? It will actually yell at me for, like, it won't, it's not big on, we're getting closer. Oh, the season there would have been finally a winner. So it's like, it's a little like somebody else enter. You can go left or right, or you can just do push it straight down. All right. Hex, you said you had an idea. What was your idea? Coblin! Plinko. Everybody wants their bump back. Yeah, and I would have probably made this bigger. I would have said, oh, I'm adding one more thing. Make the pusher themed like the slot game. Plinko. So people just want bump back is what it is. All right. I did try to see if it can put a shinier coat of paint on the pusher real quick, and then we'll move on. We'll move on to Plinko. I don't think we'll be able to. Yeah, so now it looks a little better. Doesn't look, I'm not super stoked on this. Pushing left. But it's getting, like, you can see that, like, you can start to kind of mess with it and potentially make some things, like, you can get there. Like, it's not perfect, but it is moving things down. And I like the idea that the coins have our avatars on them. So, okay, we'll leave it open. Okay. I'm not again. I like that. I'm going to actually, that one, because it's affecting an actual active widget. And I can, so I'm going to put, that down, but I'm going to write that in a separate note. And then we can look at that for, the analytics engine. I would probably random vote. I would probably keep it to 3, because otherwise we might, like, that would sprinkle the vote too much. But I like the concept. So I'm writing that one down separate because I like that idea. All right, so then there was our coin pusher. And of course, this would be another thing that we would easily be able to interactive, multi-platform, and you could easily bake in a history to it. So there we go. So we got the, well, we're going to go ahead and hide this one for now. The Battle Royale is still out there in case you want to, you want to use it. The fight is still available. All right. We got to come up with a Plinko. I'm writing in a Plinko prompt right now. Hold on. Like I would probably write it in. Like I feel like there's tweaks here where it's like people move around a little more. You can duck, you can weave, you can miss. But I do like that. And then it would be easy enough to then automatically add the tokens. But it'd be another thing to stress Streamlabs out. New layer. In the theme of the slot machine game, create a Plinko. We'll see if it lets me do that. Style drop game with, what was it that, how did Hex put that? With prize baskets of, let's, we'll call it 1,000 tokens. Pucker up. 10,000 tokens. And wheel of gift cards. Probably should do 4. We'll go say 4 of these. 4 of these. We're adding how many winner things there are. one of these. And that's 5 of these and 1 of these. Players enter by typing, we'll use our old school bump, and their coins, their coin that drops is their avatar. All right. So now we got it working on Hex's Plinko game. There's a wheel you spin to start, and it chooses a letter of the alphabet. Then the host has to pick a word. Hold on, it's working. It's doing all kinds of stuff. Well, I don't like that noise. And I don't necessarily like how it looks. But I would feel the need like I said, sometimes it so as you can see, like oh, what a good jump, Cranky. There's some like finagling and things that you kind of got to talk it into. Yeah. And well, the one thing that's nice is you can add the specific noises you want. So like I could find a noise that's better for every like. The problem is it's probably playing a noise every time it hits the thing. So it's like I would probably get rid of the noise and have it play like a little song or a jingle while it's dropping, and that I would probably then go make the jingle and then add the jingle to it. And I would probably work a little bit on this look. But it yeah, like a Jack in the Box song would be good. But yeah, again, this is another thing that would be completely interactive. It would be easy to make it multi-platform, and it could have a history. I think sometimes it just takes a minute to catch on to it. Like sometimes when people join in, it takes it a minute to get your avatar like loaded into its stuff. Yeah, like that's but yeah, so like yeah, that would take like a bit to do. But yeah, so like eventually you'll jump and it'll look right. Like it like for whatever reason, sometimes it just takes it a minute to catch what you're doing. So like I don't know exactly how I would fix this up. I'm not a big fan 100% of how it looks. But as you can see, just whatever your Twitch, or actually it's whatever, if you're jumping like from YouTube or Kick or Twitch, it's just whatever your little profile pic is what it uses. And then that all just depends on like where you're watching and what you're looking at. But yeah, so like we've technically created a little mini fighting game. I love that idea, but I know one of the things it straight up can't do is it would not, there's no way to get it to send whispers to people. Yeah, there's like Cranky wins. So there's I've found like certain things that, because there have been certain things where I'm like, oh, it'd be neat. Can you do that? Can you do this? Like another thing it can't do is it can't turn like sources on or off in your scene. That's another thing it can't do. Because there's been things where I'm like, well, hey, can I have this hidden in the scene, and then when somebody does something, it'll appear? And it was like, no, I can't control that. And so I was like, oh, and there was no way to get around it. Like there's been some funny like things that it doesn't quite work that way. And so maybe someday they'll add it. Maybe someday they'll give you more access. I do like that everybody can just kind of jump in. All right. Oh, you would have got a gift card. I'm going to say make the bump game bigger. And sometimes noises and things won't work on here. While on the scene, only jumping works. No DD refunds. So certain sounds won't work either. I sometimes I find myself, well, right now, like eventually I could be like, well, because there is no bump function. That was one thing we lost with the jump, is I did kind of purposely say I only want jumps and not bumps. That was a strategic decision on my part. Ooh, it's also interesting that it's being very specific. Make the bump game bigger. And sometimes I catch myself just talking very casually to it, like lose the noise. All I said is make the bump game bigger and lose the noise. Feel like pooping. Wonder why pooping works with sweet, sweet mouth more. I know why. I'm not worried about trying to fix that. I'm not worried, but I know why it's not. That's the next thing I need to start working on for the show is audio. All right. So, God damn it. Plinko. I don't know why it felt the need to restore the coin pusher's visibility. I just turned it off because I didn't want it on there. Look at that. That's not great. Somebody else bump and see if they can get past the roadblock. Whoa, see? And then weird things happen. I think, no, that's like the limit for where the coin pusher right now, like I would need to tell it to, All right. So now we look at, see, this is what I mean. Like, it's not an end all be all, but it's fun to be able to kind of start ideas off, and then you can then work to iterate them and make them cooler and all this stuff. And I would totally probably not keep any of this like look, because I don't like, they look like cheap like calculator looking ass game. They look like calculators. I don't like it. The coins are getting stuck at the top of the bump game. That shouldn't. And then sometimes I just get so casual, I'm like, that shouldn't happen. And I just say, that shouldn't happen. I can make a calculator. We can make a calculator. Something on the bucket list for the Playoplex was to add a Press Your Luck inspired game. I've seen somebody actually use Spark to create something like that. They even had like whammy noise, and that's not good. It's getting stuck again. It's saying it made changes, but I don't believe it did. And sometimes it just straight up doesn't make it's almost like it's like if coins get stuck, they're supposed to like eventually like push through, but I would tell it, just make the coins a little smaller. That's what I'm telling it to do. I said, just make the coins a little smaller. Casino Plinko. Riggedy row. Look at that. There you go. Well, it lost all the noise, but I can fix that too. But see, like you can slowly like get it to do the things you want to do. And the one thing that can be a little frustrating.
Wow, it's very nice.
Very nice. But you can like as you like iterate things, you can kind of like fix it. And like I would completely work on this look and be like, this look sucks. The idea is okay. We can mess with this a little bit. Same thing with like the coin pusher. Well, yeah, I guess, because like in this one it doesn't. Like when the other one with the push one was putting people's names, like Z-word show pushing center. So it said, and it would keep track of like who did it. Like we could put the names on it. But yeah, like I said, everything with this, it really comes down to like vision. And sometimes like, yeah, and I think that's just how it pulls information from the thing that it uses to pull the info from. I don't necessarily know if I can control that or make it better. That's one of those things you're kind of beholden to. But like some of the things with this is like knowing what you want to do so that you can create the best prompt possible to get you what you want. as you can see, the less specific you are about what you want, you get Sparks kind of like, I'm going to think about what you want and do the best I can with what limited information you've given me. But like, for the most part, other than like specifically telling it to create new layers instead of like accidentally adding it to other ones, because sometimes it'll do weird shit where it's like, I didn't ask you to change that. I only asked you to change this. And sometimes it that's funny. I could hit it with that. I'm trying to think what's another, like, so I'm going to hide Plinko. I'm going to hide the pusher. The fight's still there, but like, like I was calling it calculator. I was like, create an interactive calculator. Create an interactive calculator. That's all I'm going to put in a new layer, just so it knows, in a new layer. Create an interactive calculator. See what it does. I was joking about calculators, so then it made me think, let me just try to make a calculator. But there are like, and there's also like, sometimes it's fun to be kind of slick with the ways that the different interactions work. All right, let's see how it is. This is one I actually want to take and run with a little bit. There we go. We got a calculator. It doesn't look like boobs. I won. But look at that. Now we got a calculator. 23 plus 56 equals 79. The only issue with that, I think that would be funny, is that there wouldn't be a way to have it be interactive with the audience. That would be my only thing. But yeah, so like now, in case I need one, I can just bring up my calculator. Praying at the altar. Yes, we probably could. Let's see. New layer. A standard magic 8-ball that I have to click to shake. Let's find out. Let's get a magic 8-ball. Crazy, we're working on it. We're cooking it up. We're cooking. This will forever be the like I'll clean this I like that. I'm wondering how it's going to actually represent it. But I'm going to potentially I didn't, it didn't do the, holy smokes. You want to see something fun? Hear something wild? It said, hold on. All right. Hold on. It said at the end of its, like it said, it's got its thing and it's broken. So I got to like tell it to fix. But one of the last things it put was, I noticed the viewer in chat suggested making all the answers "it's pop, not soda." If you'd like to customize the responses or look, just let me know. I'm putting when I click, it just shakes with no answer reveal. So, like, that's actually kind of interesting in the fact that it's been just doing this the whole time. I could definitely theme this out so it's a little more like the Z word, like I can have it be a Z instead of an 8. All right. Now let's try it again. Outlook good. Let's ask it a question. Are you listening? Oh no. Hold on. Hold on. We're working on this. All right. We're trying it. Oh, concentrate and ask again. I was actually just trying to make it a little bigger. The other thing is all of them are like web thing. Could be. Might be. All right. So check it out. Oh, I like that. So go ahead and try. It's exclamation point 8 ball and your question. Somebody else give it a go. Outlook good. That's a dumb question. Crazy ass. Without a doubt. Well, yeah. So like, this is another one that we can definitely play with a little bit. Outlook not so good. So you're going to do great. Not so. Hold on. Let's the ball should be bigger And so should all the fonts for readability. I like using the word readability. I mean readability a lot. We got look at this. We got a lot going on. We got a lot going on here. Turn it all on. What happens when we turn it all on? There, we got a bigger 8-ball. So now let's see. Oh, hold on. I'm gonna turn it off. God damn it. Move the calculator over here. So now everybody go ahead and give the new 8-ball a try. See if it looks a little better. All right, actually, ooh. The question should be seen over the 8-ball, but shouldn't overlap with the reading or with the answer circle. I'm calling it an answer circle. There. So it's almost kind of like a rock, paper, scissors-y situation. All right, it's making like adjustments on the fly for certain things. No, that's not what I asked. Hopefully it's not done messing with it yet. But this is the type of thing where it's still technically working on the widget right now. But so I'd be like, the question is covering the answer. The question should be above the answer. And then this is when I would sometimes, like, the technical way to ask this gets away from me, and then I can do it. That's better. Ha! But yeah, like have a little sword or a shield. And so, you know, and then, yeah, there had to be like one last thing I want to do with this is the 8-ball widget looks blurry. So I'm trying to think. So you'd have a sword, a shield, see, we'd have to figure this out. But no, I think I know what the problem is here. Let's just switch screens and then come back and maybe. Well, there we go. Yeah, that's what I thought. I just had to leave and come back. So now it looks better. Every once in a while, it doesn't quite like bring it all into focus. Was this fun? That's sad. That's sad. I think it was. And then this can be actually a recurring, whoa, it's onto your stuff. And all that stuff we did only used about 10% of my weekly usage that we did tonight. And we created a magic 8-ball, a calculator, the starting of a Plinko, a starting of a coin pusher, and the starting of a battle royale. Well, what I was going to say is I'm going to pretty up this this scene to make it look kind of more like a blank slate, like maybe put like an artist's canvas background in it. And I feel like this is a segment that's old school panel of death stuff, Crypt Keeper. That all got retired when I did the one chip challenge. That was the old panel of death where you could pay money to have me do horrible shit. But like, what's neat about this? No, I feel like this is a segment we can come back to. So keep your brain thinking things. Like maybe even it becomes like a dynamite dollar thing where it's like, I have a prompt I want to try. And then we just come over to the says no. But and then we come here and you give me the prompt and we play around with it for a little bit. So no, I think this is, I'm telling you, it gets, we can do that, but yeah, like we can definitely look, cause yes, like this gets, like playing around with this stuff gets fun real fast. Oh, we got one last. I'm just going to hide the calculator for now. And a pusher. And we can always, like I said, I like the basic concept of what it's doing here. Oh, you may rely on it. Because it's kind of funny how you just get erased out of history. But yeah, like I feel like that 8-ball like could use a little bit of tweaking, but for the most part, it's doing all the right things. Well, yeah, of course, because that's what it's all about. Interactive, multi-platform, history. It's got to be able to be, there's got to be able to be history. All right, let's do a couple more races before we get out of here. Because I like my new cars. And I like my new beach setting. The cars are so much more beautiful. We're going to go on the beach. We're going to the beach. No, they're cars from the future, man. Don't be hating. Oh, I don't know if you noticed that, but the mines on the beach are beach balls. See, this is a game that's been a little bit more fleshed out. Magenta's not one of the colors. Red, purple, orange, brown, gray, black, white, blue, pink, yellow. Like pretty much every basic color car you would want in here, you can get your hands on. There's 11 different colors. You know what? Because of what happened with the wheel, yuck. I'm gonna make magenta happen for you. Tomorrow there will be magenta. Actually, hold on. You know what? We're gonna do it right now before we forget. I gotta get what magenta is though. Magenta. You want magenta's just pink. It's gonna look exactly like the pink car. Are you fine with that? Or do you want a dark magenta? According to the internet, it's a pink. It's a vibrant color that in cheerfulness is positioned between purple and red on the color wheel. I mean, it looks pretty pink to me. Based on Figma.com. There's a neon magenta. There's like a hot magenta. But magenta's FF, let's see. Hex. Hold on, we can do this. Hex, hold on. It's not gonna be perfect, but we can make something happen here. Hold on. All right, what is it? It's FF00FF. All right, we're gonna call it magenta. All right, hold on. Download. Okay. We're working on things here. Okay. All right. Add a new color choice, magenta, using this pick for the car. All right, this is probably gonna screw up the game. This race could very easily, actually I'm gonna stop it. Stop. Hold on. New chat. I'm going to start a new chat. For the race game. Hold on. Add a new color choice of magenta using this pick for the car. Okay. All right, Yuck. We're adding in your, it's working on adding in your magenta car. Now, it may be a little off because I'm updating one color in the base car, but I used your exact hex code. It's still working on it. I'll let you know when it's, all right, and now you should be good to go. There you go. Because I feel like I owe you more than one. For that beautiful, oh, Hex! So close. For that beautiful wheel that, yeah, I guess that magenta is different than the pink. So there you go. Now we have 12 colors, including magenta, that you can choose from. And we're moving down this beach with haste. But yeah, some things are easy. Oh, somebody got beach balled. That was me, I believe. Rats. Hex is holding on. Oh, Yuck just took the lead. No. Hex. Hex got it. And there we go. But there you go. Look at that. Man, somebody else needs to get into the race game. T-Dem is sitting down there at a distant fifth, but holding on. But there you go. We had a good time. I feel like we had a good time. I feel like we learned some stuff. I got some notes written down here that are out and about. Remember, I guess it's part of the whole like pitch. Now let's get the music going. Imminent. Jackbox is on the way. But hey, I think we had a really great time. We're definitely going to do this again. We melded with viewers. We mind melded. We created some stuff. I feel like we have the start of some neat things. I am really looking forward to iterating on that Battle Royale game because I feel like that's going to have some juice to it. And people are going to be excited about that. So that's going to be fun. Remember, if you were watching this thing and you were just kind of sitting back in the back, or if you were adding things to it and you have a stream, you can now get 50% off your first month of Meld. meldstudio.co/spark. And to get that 50% off your first month, use the code Z-Word. Hey, thank you for that follow. How fantastic is that right here? We are heading into the end, but Melly came through with a follow over on the Kick Machine. That's fantastic. Thank you very much. So yeah, code Z-Word. We got Zach Box tomorrow with a brand new stat of the week with our updated, even more user viewer friendly analytics engine. And Yuck, I'm going to think about implementing your game poll idea, because I like that. Like, and give people the option to use the spinner or the poll. And so I like that a lot. I'm going to look into implementing that, and maybe it'll be live for tomorrow. But either way, it's going to be fantastic. Remember, it's pop, not soda. Support your local movie theaters. Went and saw I Love Boosters yesterday. It's fucking fantastic. It's out of this world. It's weird, and it's funny, and it's amazing. This weekend, I'm thinking of going and seeing Back Rooms. Oh my gosh, that director's only 20 years old. Good for him. Follow on all social media at the Z Word Show. And then, more important than all of that, stay safe, stay cool, stay hydrated, and we are back tomorrow for Zach Box Games. Bye, everybody.